Why, hello there. And hello, Claude. Good morning. My thesis is going better than it was. I was following a couple of streams yesterday. Ginny had that 5,000 word stream, Sako, and then she was also on with Kibby late at night. Not late at night their time, but late at night my time. And yeah, I actually managed to get, it wasn't a lot of words, but I managed to get a section kind of fixed, or the larger portion of it anyway. So I'm hoping that I can continue that role this morning. How is your story going, Claude? Uh, I know I think I saw you popping in and out of things. Yeah, block by block. Yeah, block by block, you can build a thing of any size. Bite by bite, you'll eat an elephant. All of those things. One bit at a time is the only way to do these things, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So I ended up getting really frustrated last night because I was trying to organize a list of the studies that I had included and not included, and giving reasons for why. And I kept finding that one study was missing. It just wasn't, the lists weren't tallying with each other. They weren't adding up to the right number. And I was getting quite confused and annoyed by it. But in the end, I was able to find out which one had dropped off which list, and I was able to put it in the right place, and then suddenly all the numbers were right again, and that I'm so glad I'm past that bit. Claude says, my story goes well, but the end will arrive sooner than expected. Not too bad. I'll go back and fluff some scenes to get to 50k. I'm an underwriter. Yeah, that's, I mean, great. I mean, I think that it's good to get the end kind of there. You can always go back and add things later. Once you have the skeleton, you can put some meat on the bones. I I'm probably in. I don't know. I think I vary wildly whether I'm underwriting or overwriting. The kind of work I'm doing at the moment, I tend to overwrite, because with nonfiction, particularly with scientific writing, I tend to be like, but they need to know this and this and this, and they need to know all of these things. There is so much nuance, and then I have to come back and go, but I need to take out some of it so that I can summarize this. It still needs to be readable. So yeah, it takes me a while to be able to prioritize everything. I have written. I currently have 40,000 ish words in the thesis, but like I wrote 100,000 and deleted 60,000. And Justin Case is here. Hello, Justin. How are things? And what are you working on this morning, and how is it going? Claude is saying hello to you. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it is good. It is good to be here. It is good to have people who are here and ready to rock. Because I'll be honest with you, after the live stream last night, the kibbies, I was like, I was like, I will join this live stream. I will stay chatting to people. I will do all the things. I will keep writing until 1 in the morning. And then 1 in the morning came and I'm like, I should go to bed. And I went to bed. Oh, no, I went to bed at 2. And then I was still staring at the ceiling at 7 in the morning. That sucked. So I have not been asleep for very long. Um, so it is good to have some people that were waiting for me so that I actually got up and that I'm actually going to start work. Because otherwise my schedule could be right out. Yeah, Justin says, yeah, uh, that he's lacking a bit. Buffering on my end due to heavy rainfall. Sat the cottage to the forest lake. Yeah, yeah. I hope that the signal improves. Uh technology, huh? I know. It does kind of suck when that happens, but stick with us as long as you can. If not, hopefully we will see you later in some other stream. Cloud says, "Oh no, hence the energy drink." Yeah, hence the energy drink. I mean, I like energy drinks anyway. They don't actually tend to keep me awake that much. There's a sort of an ADHD thing about that where, yeah, caffeine, it doesn't work for all of us in the same way, but I am definitely one of the people who are like, yeah, I could drink a lot of caffeine and go to sleep. My sleep patterns are governed by, I don't know, the weather patterns on the moon or something. Nothing really works all that reliably. But I do like the taste. I do like the taste, and it is good to have something, something sweet and something tasty. Anyway, I think that I have rambled for probably long enough, and I'm gonna start us into our first sprint. It's gonna be a short one to get us warmed up and make sure that my brain has fully booted, so that I'm not completely blathering at you. I'm just gonna grab video file. Gonna give us a 10-minute one to start with. And I will see you in 10 minutes. Hello, everybody. I am back. And it looks like we have a few people dropped into the chat. Andrea's here. Hello, Andrea. It says, hello, lovely people. How's everyone doing? I can't hear a thing, but it's me. We were doing like a mini sprint, so hopefully you weren't hearing anything because nobody was talking and you can hear me again now. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Andrew says the problem with English is I keep fixating on the word games. So Justin and and Jack, you're my main distraction. Sorry. Yeah, I sometimes have that problem. Being a native speaker, I don't tend to associate it with English, just with games being more fun than writing sometimes, or at least easier fun than writing. Writing's good once you get into it, but games are just easier. Justin said, wrote all night and I'm so happy. Know the feeling when the gears mesh? Style, atmosphere, everything just comes together. Oh, yeah, that's so good when everything clicks and you know how it's all going to work and it all just sort of, yeah, you give yourself little tingles. Yeah. Oh, that sounds so good. So good. I am so happy for you, Justin. Maybe I should have just stayed up and wrote. Though I did have a really interesting and kind of cool experience last night. Um, so I have two Instagrams. Andrea says, "Love that feeling, Justin," and is feeling a little envious. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I have two. Small bit. But yeah, I've got two Instagrams. One of them is for this channel, and the other one is for my badge making business. And it's a bit of a long story, but I think I'll go for it because I don't know who else is going to be interested in it. But I can inflict it on you. So I usually make pronoun pins, kind of handy, do them in multiple languages. Linchpin badges on Etsy if you want to buy one. We've got a 20% off sale at the moment. And recently, I've done a couple of multi-level marketing badges because multi-level marketing is bad and exploits people. Okay, uh, I've watched a lot of Savvy's work on that. Savvy writes books, who is awesome, and one of my recommended channels you should totally go and check out if you haven't watched her stuff. She also does writing sprints, but she's done some really interesting sort of almost kind of investigative journalism type stuff on multi-level marketing. And so I made a couple of these badges and I posted them up on this Instagram and was sort of like, hey, yeah, you know, these things, they're basically product-based pyramid schemes. They're going to take your money. Hey, if you also don't like these, maybe you want a badge that says "Friends don't let friends join MLMs." And I got a message from a random person at 4 in the morning, and I happened to be awake. This is possibly what kept me awake for some of that time, because the random person was like, "What's bad about these companies? I'm about to join one." And I'm there like, holy crap. uh, and I sort of did a, okay. The problem is that they make all of their money out of recruiting new people rather than selling stuff to customers, or at least most of their money. And that means if you're not in early, or you're not somebody who comes in with a large untapped market, uh, basically your money gets taken to pay the people above you, and there's nobody to pay you. And they work sort of like the old, Ponzi scheme in that sense. They just are legal because they're still technically selling something. It's just that you can't make money doing that. And because they work like that, the people above you have lots of incentive to really pressure you to stay in, and they can get kind of culty and weird. So I pointed her at some at some statistics, and I pointed her at a YouTube channel that was somebody who was going into the same, who had been in the same company that she was thinking of joining. And fair play to this person, because this very often doesn't happen. She was like, "Yep, actually, yep, that makes sense. I think I will not do that then. That sounds like that sounds like not a sensible idea to put my money into. Thank you very much," and went away. And I'm like, how? You don't usually get to do that. Winning arguments on the internet is very rare now. In fairness, this was somebody who came looking for information, but I really hope that I managed to help this person avoid losing a lot of money or losing time. That was very cool. Cloud says, "Night well spent." Yeah, possibly. I mean, I was. That's a it's I was writing paragraphs furiously with my thumbs, so it kind of woke me up a bit more than I even was before that. But if it helped this one person avoid that situation, you know, I think probably, yeah, that was worth losing a couple hours of sleep for. Andrew said, "I don't usually sleep that much. I love to write at night, but I'm under medication for a mild depression that makes me more in contact with my body needs. So I sleep at night and don't write." Yeah. Yeah. Are you somebody who's usually an evening person? Like when you're not on medication? Because that can be weird if you're trying to work around your body clock being different. It happened to me for a while when I started some medication at one point, that it made me more awake during the day, or at least it made my cycle briefly make more sense. And that confused me because I'm normally somebody who like gets to like 8 o'clock in the evening and I'm like, and now I am the most awake, super awake, the awakest. And that's kind of it's kind of tricky to navigate if you are suddenly like, oh, but now I am also awake during the day, and that means that I've been doing stuff all day, and now I'm less awake at 8, and yeah, that can be confusing. Uh, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because if uh, if it's managing your mood, it can help, but and it's kind of nice to be on the same clock as everybody else sometimes, but yeah. Andrea says, "Awesome work, Jack. MLM is dangerous." Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've Thankfully there's not a lot of it in Ireland. Uh, I think, I mean, we used to have Avon, like, but I've never actually met an Avon seller. Just that your dad sells Avon is kind of an insult. um, but yeah, Monat, that one, the one with the one that makes your hair fall out, is here apparently. I've never run into it. When I lived in the UK for a while, somebody tried to sell me Juice Plus at one point. It did not go very well for her because I answered one of those polls out of curiosity, and then she was like, "But you spent this much on coffee, so obviously you should spend it on these like vegetable pills instead." And I'm like, "Or I could just eat vegetables." And I do not like coffee, so I don't spend any money on coffee. And her script did not account for somebody who literally spent no money at Starbucks, turned out. Cloud says, "Gotta go to work, sadly. Have a great day, everyone." Have a great day, Cloud. I hope work goes well for you, and I might see you in somebody else's stream later on. Andrea also says, "Have a great day, Claude. Bye." Bye. Yeah, I rambled again for a little while with my weird, like, convincing internet randos not to join exercise coaching MLMs in the middle of the night. That was not a thing I was expecting to ever happen. I know it happens to the anti MLM channels, but like I'm not an anti MLM channel. I'm just a guy who sells badges. Good morning, Better Days. I don't think I have seen you around before, and I love your username. What a fantastic name. What are you working on this morning? Are you nanoing? Or do you have some chores to do? Or what's going on in your life? Um, the way it works, if you haven't been with us before, is we usually do 25-minute sprints. And between them, we do short chat breaks where I burble at you about whatever is going on in my brain. And I chat back to the chat, and the chats back to me. So far, we have covered uh, insomnia, MLMs, multi-level marketing. It's bad, okay? uh, and uh, and people's writing shenanigans and that wonderful moment where everything comes together and what you're writing makes sense and the atmosphere clicks and all of those things, and we're all jealous of the one guy who's had that moment today. Uh, Andrea says, "Good morning. You're doing NanoWrimo. Yay! Awesome. I'm doing NanoRebeling this year. I'm using it to edit my thesis for university. So I'm trying to get that finished. I am super behind because it is taking longer than I thought to get through all of these words and change them. But hopefully now this next sprint, I will be able to start making some progress. Just in case says hi to Better Days. It's good to see everybody chatting in the channel. Um, yeah, feel free to let us know what sort of nano you are working on, how it is going for you this morning. Ask questions. Um, those are two very good writers that you've got chatting with you in there. Uh, I I am a hack at best, uh, but the others may be able to answer some questions for you if you're stuck on anything. Anyway, I have burbled long enough, so I'm just going to grab my timer. Gonna open it up and sprint. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. YouTube in another tab was really insistent on giving me ads and did not want to let me pause during the ads. So you know, so I'd watch the ad, but I'm not watching the ad. So I'm here. So go away, YouTube. I like YouTube, really. Don't ban me, Susan. Okay, so let's say hello to people. Andrea says, "Yeah, that's right. Woo. I hope that you got some writing done during that last sprint, Andrea. Let me just check what my word count is. What is my word count? 73. Not great. There was a lot of other stuff referencing papers and things going on there, so I'm not going to be too hard on myself. How did you folks do? Hopefully, word counts bigger than mine. Yeah, I actually did get into it towards the end, and was a little surprised by the timer going off, which is always a good sign. I find always a good sign when I'm not waiting for the timer to go off. Andrea said like 20 words, a little research and construction material. Yeah, no, that's legit. That's legit. Sometimes it's not the words that's the tricky bit. Sometimes it's figuring out the research end of things. What did you find out about construction material? I'm interested now. What are you writing about? Are you writing about building something or blowing something up? Maybe. Um, you know, I know that that those little bits of research that might feel like rabbit holes sometimes do matter. Because I I go to a book club. It's sort of an online thing that a friend of mine runs, and it is called the Crap Romance Club. Too little talking about a basement of the 40s. Yeah, and you want to know what it should look like and how it should work, and yeah, no, that's cool. I think that's cool. I think people do notice those little details. As I was saying, the Crap Romance Club is a group of people who we do a thing where the friend of mine who runs it will read out a romance novel that she has found on Kindle, uh, and we kind of heckle it a bit. Um, she tends to go for things that are like bare-chested Scotsman on the front and are as ridiculous as possible. A lot of it is just good humored poking fun at romance tropes, but two of the people, including the person who reads, are Scottish women. So when they get confused about the difference between a lord and a laird, there's shouting, and when they have tins of tinned food too early, there's shouting. They're they're quite into their history, these two Scottish women, so they know. Uh, when the author gets it wrong about whether they're at war with England at the time, shouting, yeah. And I think it's you know it those little things do matter to the people who know, and will take them right out of the story if you haven't done that little bit of research and you're saying, yeah, I don't want to lie, but I think I'm going to ask an architect directly. And like, yeah, if you got an architect that you can ask, go for it. Having somebody around who knows these little things, or somebody who lived in a house like that and could describe it to you. Justin said, buffering keeps me lag behind. I don't know when sprints and breaks start, but I did approximately 400 words since the stream started. Oh, cool. That's really good. Well done, Justin. And Andrea's also saying awesome progress. Yeah, that's really good to hear. You know, considering that you're sort of annoyed by the in and out nature of the sprints, that is some good going. Better days, if you're still there, let us know how you did. What's going on in your nano? Um, do you have research things uh, that keep you uh, stuck, or are you writing fluently? Of course, there is the other approach to this, Andrea. If it's holding you back to get these little details, you can always. I tend to do it with a different color, and just go write a note to myself and go, "Hey, come back to this bit. Uh, write description once you have asked somebody or looked up some photograph, reference photograph, or whatever. Come back to this bit and then write the rest of the scene." Unless, of course, there's something really vital about, like, whether a thing that's needed for your scene to work could possibly exist in that location at that time. Sometimes it's easier to keep the flow going and then come back to it with the research later on a second pass, a second draft, maybe. Especially when you're doing something like Nano, where the words matter. Andrew was saying, yeah, absolutely. Thought 10-minute and Google would help me, but no, so I move on. Yeah, that's fair enough. These are the sort of things that can absolutely get ironed out on a second pass. My problem at the moment is that I'm on the third pass, so I have to go back and be like, no, I do need to entirely rewrite this paragraph. With some more arguments about why this needs to happen and referencing some more research. And I do need to read that paper, and I do need to do it all now because that's the stage I'm at. I have to do it. And that's why I only got 70 whatever words, because a lot of it's going back and forth between other things. Okay. Something keeps buzzing in my pocket. So I'm going to check what that is. And I think at the same time, go back to another sprint. I am on a roll. I would like to continue with that roll once I have shut up whatever this conversation that's happening in my pocket is. All right. Get ready to sprint with me now. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. How did y'all do? Oh, we have some chatting here. Justin saying, "Yeah, does say what words don't need editing." None of us are saying that our words won't need editing. It's Nano. We are pounding out the words, and we will edit them later. I mean, except me. I'm doing the editing bit now because, well, that's where I'm at, and I can't really get started on any new projects until I get this out of the way. Otherwise, my family might just lose the rag with me. I've been dragging this here thesis out way too long already. Okay, more of me. Hello. Life with Casey says, "Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, beautiful Casey. How are you?" Um, we have just done our how many sprints? Third, three. One of them was short. Uh, we have just done a sprint, and we're back. Do let us know what you are working on this morning. Uh, what is it? Is it chores? Are you doing NanoWrimo? Are you working on some other project? I am on a continuing quest to finish my Gorham thesis. But we also have some writers of various things in the comment section. During that last sprint, I mostly I was mostly doing research to back up a point, get some extra references for it. I have found a good paper. I have no idea how much I wrote because it was all in little bits, and I'm not sure how to count it, so I'm not going to. I think that's probably where I'm gonna leave that. Um, I'm thinking that our next sprint will probably be the last. I try to stick to around 2 hours because StreamYard gives you 20 hours a month, and doing two-hour sprints a week ish kind of just about works. I timed it perfectly this month, actually, as my first month streaming, so I was kind of worried it wouldn't work out, but I ended up just finishing my 20 hours on Tuesday. So thankfully the time rolled over today. This is the first 2 hours of a new month. So that is that is the limiting factor here. Casey says, "I will be working on a brain dump file for my elemental fantasy project." That sounds so cool. Doing a lot of research yesterday. I'm hoping some of that will spark some ideas. Yeah, that sounds great. I like the idea of a brain dump. Just going, pew, pew. I also quite like the idea of elemental fantasy. That sounds fun. Is it a new project? Is it brand new, or is it a world that you've been working with for a while? When I'm not doing this sciencey stuff, I do a bit of fantasy writing myself, largely for live action roleplay. I tend to write settings and plot rather than that many sort of long form stories. It is an interesting sort of writing in that you end up doing lots and lots and lots of world building, and then you hand it over to other people and they do stuff with it, and you just kind of have to react. I like it because it's got lots of back and forth, but you do have to be willing for your It's a situation where you don't have to kill your darlings. It's more like raising children. Uh, your darlings grow up to be teenagers and decide they want to go their own way and do things that you weren't expecting, and you just kind of have to be cool with it. um, Whereas at the moment, I am writing academic stuff, which means it's all very well. You kind of need to justify everything you say with a reference, so that's it's a different kind of writing. It's a lot slower for that reason. Casey says, project is new. Some Nano videos inspired me to start writing. This is actually my first project, and I'm pretty excited about it. Oh, I am so excited for you. Welcome to Nano. It's great fun. If you haven't seen it going by, there's a playlist. I will actually drop it in the comments because it's a really useful thing to have. But there is a playlist that is by a guy called Devon Cutting, and he does one for every day, and it's year round. It's not just during Nano that this happens. But he puts together playlists of everybody who does this kind of writing live stream on YouTube that he can find, and he's really good at finding them. And he puts them all in these handy little playlists so that you can follow along. I tend to just after the stream, after I've gone and had some food, I'll come back and see who's next on the playlist, and sometimes you'll see me in the chat. Casey says academic stuff is different for sure. This is my only experience in writing the past. Good luck on your thesis. Thank you. I kind of need it. It's been going on too long. I have been staring into the abyss. I now understand cosmic horror in a way that I did not before. The thing about the thesis is that you kind of stare into the depths of how little we know about anything really once you start being pernickety about it. That and too many hours staring into things. Oh, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I mean, I haven't gone after anyone with a hatchet yet. I'm not going to go after anyone with a hatchet, I promise. Check it out. Yep. Here's the link so that it's easy to find. I know there's 2 channels called Devon Cutting, so that's mildly inconvenient for the purposes of finding his stuff. You also see him sometimes on the streams. He is tends to be a little bit later in the day. Where are you based, actually, Casey? We've got Europe and South America represented. We tend to, because we start at noon GMT and 7 a.m. Eastern, we tend to end up with sort of a mostly European crowd to start with, and more Americans join as it presses on. Casey says, no hatchet, then there's hope for you yet. Well, thought about it during the thesis defense. I'm told the best thesis defense is a good thesis offense, but I didn't in the end. It was also remote, so it's kind of hard to hatchet people through a computer screen. Yeah, so I did get through that bit. I just need to do corrections now. And Casey's in Texas, 7:43 a.m. Well done on being up at it and writing that early. I am generally not. I am a late riser. That is why I stream at noon. Okay. I think that if we want to get a sprint in before the end, it's probably a good idea to start it now. I have I have just been reminded by plugging Devon that I should also plug myself. 2:43 here in Denmark. Yeah, it is 1:43 in Ireland where I am. Casey says, "Hey, I'm at work with nothing to do, so may as well be productive." Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Before I was distracted, I was saying a thing. I was definitely saying, yes, of course. I was saying that I, uh, as I was plugging Devon, I was reminded to plug myself. Hi, I am here every Tuesday and Thursday at noon, UTC or GMT, as you prefer, 7 Eastern, and I stream stuff like this, and it's generally a good time. We have a nice little community in the chat. It's not too populated, but there's usually a couple people knocking around who will be lovely and encouraging and cheer you on. So hit the like button and the subscribe button and the bell button and all of those things, because that will make it easier for you to find me in the future and for other people to find me as well. And then we will have more friends in the chat. I think writing it's easier if we all do it together, even as we are alone in our various places. I know that Justin is out by a mountain lake struggling to get internet. It sounds like a very cool place, but it is, you know, maybe not a great place for internet. Yeah, well, this is the disadvantage of forest lakes, I guess, that they're beautiful, but not much with a 5G. Anyway, before I lose track completely, I am going to put up another sprint, our last one of the day. Yay! Subscribing! Subscribing is good. Good to see more subscribers, more friends, and going to give us one more sprint. You ready to go? In 3, 2, 1. Sprint! Welcome back, everybody. That was our last sprint. Looks like we have some people in the chat. Yeah, Casey says, happy sprinting, everyone. I hope that you did have a happy sprint, Casey. Nikki's here. Hello, Nikki. Good morning. Casey says, when your book is based around astrological stuff and you pick your character's zodiac sign and accidentally set your book in your favorite season, I guess it's meant to be. Yay! Oh, that sounds really cool. Like a very, very zodiac inspired thing. Ooh, cool. What sign have they? That would be nice to know. And from that, I guess we can guess what your favorite time of year is. Let's make me big. There we go. There, my face. Casey says hi, Nikki. Nikki says hi to Casey. Yeah, I read a paper and a half, and I've been making notes on them. Casey says Sagittarius. Now, I'm bad at star signs, but I think Sagittarius is a winter thing. Yeah, like November, I want to say. I'm not good with star signs. I know which one I'm supposed to be. I don't really relate to the description much at all. Keepy Roseland, who also does sprints, has this book of days thing that gives you more detailed information based on the day you were born. And apparently, I'm the day of the penetrating gaze, which is seems legit. November 21st, December 21st. Oh, cool. Yeah, winter. Yeah, I used to date somebody who had a birthday in late November, and I knew they were a Sagittarius, so I figured it was around there somewhere. But yeah, you should totally watch Kibby's streams. She's a psychic as well as a writer, and she's kind of interested in all the astrological stuff. She does readings for people, and I bet you could have some really interesting conversations with her about astrology and world building and how those things work together. I know she's also writing something that's got kind of real world influenced magic going on. So that's quite cool. Yeah. 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 Also, winter's awesome. I mean, I don't think I have there's a season I don't like. Cause I mean, spring, I guess I get hay fever and that kind of sucks. And autumn, I also get hay fever and it kind of sucks. But spring, I get constantly earwormed with Hadestown, and I'm okay with that. Uh, and autumn's got Halloween, so like I'm good with both of those things. And summer is an excuse to go around in Hawaiian shirts all the time. And winter has like mulled wine and winter festivities and eating too much food and excuses to party. I'm good with all of those things. I don't think that there's a season that I'm like, I don't really like that one. Fall and winter are my favorite. Living in Texas, I hate summer because it's way too hot. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think if I lived in the southern United States, I might have a different opinion about summer. Here, it doesn't generally like, oh, no, you guys work in a different temperature system, and I have no idea how to say things in Fahrenheit. But uh, it never it tends not to be as humid as what y'all have over there, and it tends not to be very very hot. You know, it's. I mean, there's a reason we're all, you know, the that the certainly the population of the island who don't have melanin to start with stay this pale. It's not a very sunny place. um, so yeah, that's a thing. I'm not a fan of the short days in winter though. That's the one thing I don't like. I don't know about what it's like where you are, but our our like sunset during the winter, it, like midwinter gets to be about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's not fun. Yeah, 38 centigrade. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't tend to. It doesn't tend to get that hot. Like, uh, yeah. So, like, we would like 30 or 86 degrees Fahrenheit would be like a super super hot day. Like it would be like, hey, it's the hottest day in years. Everybody is sticky and not doing anything. Yeah, we don't tend to leave the 20s very often at all, and sort of kind of low 20s tends to be where we are during the summertime. Winter sunset is pretty early. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. I miss having more daylight. I mean, it's not that I really. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite active at night. Usually, no matter the season. But I don't know. I think it's just kind of. It feels like the day is gone earlier. It kind of makes me like, what am I doing with my day? What am I doing with my life? The existential dread starts earlier in winter. 30 degrees sounds amazing. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It's you get a few days in August that might be that hot, and it's nice if you are like outside with a cool drink. Yeah, the other thing about here is that we don't have air conditioning anywhere because it's never 38 degrees. So, yeah, when it does get like up past 30, we don't know what to do with ourselves because nowhere is air conditioned. Uh, and so it's just like, what do you do? Try not to fry. It's a bit like places that don't get snow, which also is us. You just if you live in a place with loads of snow, there's usually gritters out gritting and the roads don't close. But if you get it like once every 3 years, uh, a fairly light snowfall can really screw things up because nobody has the equipment, nobody has snow tires. Because why would you have snow tires? You wouldn't ever use them. So when it happens, it's like, yeah. But we tend to have. It's been less so in recent years. There's some global warming shenanigans going on. We've had more heat waves and more. We had a proper blizzard, which we've not had in like decades. Fairly reasonable and fairly recently. So, but mostly our weather is very changeable but boring. So it's like it's kind of sunny, it's kind of rainy, it's kind of sunny, it's kind of rainy, and it'll happen 5 times in a day. Casey says, I've got an AC window unit that broke one year and it got up to 35 in my house. It was terrible. Oh, yeah, yeah, no, no, it's not fun. Not fun at all. Uh, Yeah, if you're gonna go into the mid-30s, having something to keep your house cool is kinda necessary. Anyway, burbling about the weather aside, I've now run over by 20 minutes. It's lovely chatting to you all, but very easy to forget myself and end up using more of my StreamYard allotted time. Uh, but I will. Oh, sorry. Yeah, not sure if you heard with the winter storm that knocked out our power grid last year. Yeah, I did. I watch some YouTubers who live in your state, and it sounded like an awful situation. Uh, and the way that the power companies that did have something go that were able to provide service within racking up their prices, it sounded really sucky. Uh, yeah, and weird because yeah, we don't have that many electricity companies, and they're not allowed to do that. So it just looked like a pretty scary situation, to be honest. I hope that there won't be any repeats of that next year, or this year rather, as we are heading into the winter. Anyway, as I was rambling about before I went to chat back to that comment, I do need to go and eat because part of the reason I'm so scatty right now is because it's food time, and time makes me distractible until I eat. So I'm going to leave you. Make sure to like, subscribe, all those things if you haven't already done so. And hit up Devin Cutting's playlist. It is linked up above in the chat. Um, and to find the next sprint if you want to keep sprinting. You have a great day too, Casey. I will certainly try. So I have been Jack Byron. I will be back again next Tuesday. I do these sprints between 12 and 2, or however long I burble after that. Every Tuesday and Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Well done in your 49 words. That's good. That's good. And no worries. Yeah, no worries. Nanosci can be stupid sometimes. But yeah, I will love you and leave you. And maybe I will see you in another stream. Bye-bye.